3,000 miles on it, you know, that's not a lot of use. What's the typical road mileage on a cruiser in a year?
Well,
Anybody have a number?
A full-time equivalent, I mean, as far as running time and all the rest,
No, miles.
there's a big difference between actual miles on the odometer and running time.
No, I understand that. Just curious, you know, and obviously the cycle isn't being used, you know, every single day
No.
or on every single shift, but just trying to draw a comparison. I mean, it would seem to me that if the lease is running out, right, maybe we can, you know, maybe the proposal should be, rather than just release another brand-new motorcycle, since it's got 3,000 miles on it, is, you know, as you say, maybe look to
Let's buy one of the lease
what other
bikes.
financial opportunities exist to acquire it.
Yeah,
Buy one
buy
at
one of
least.
the lease bikes.
But I'd say, what I was thinking was acquiring one and leasing a new one, then you start rotating your stock.
No,
I don't know about that,
I
but-
think, I was convinced that, and they said it last year, they only needed one.
Bike.
You know, so the motorcycle isn't working, it's in repair, we have cruises, you know, no harm done.
It's only
I guess-
is that 3,000 miles for 1 year?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I,
No,
well,
no,
2
no,
years.
no, no.
2
2
years.
years, yeah,
2 years?
Yeah.
That's been sitting around a lot then.
yeah.
Well, it's probably used 8 months out of the year, not 12.
Well, still, it's
Right.
still
And
3,000.
we also, and then again, we had two of them, and we had one officer who was going to be a regular rider of it, die unexpectedly. And he was one of the primary users of the vehicle.
Well,
We've had some officers that were certified and then, but for internal reasons, have not been allowed to ride them. So Lieutenant Jones is heading up the responsibility of this particular area and is doing, from what I can see, a terrific job. So,
Well, yeah, we're just being informed as a fundraiser, there's no issues with that.
none-
But maybe we need an update on the program.
Right, and I think Mr. O'Leary's right, I think the lease ends this month. So I think questions need to be answered soon rather than later concerning what the intent is going forward.
Sure.
They're gonna purchase a motorcycle, or they intending on leasing a new motorcycle? And if so, I'd like to have that financial information too.
Oh, I think they owe us a presentation of what they're gonna do going forward.
During the budget, I mean, the chief
Yeah.
did, you know, say one. Lease was coming out, they were just gonna lease one rather than two.
Oh.
That's what he told us during the budget presentation. But I'd just say, based on my conversation with Lieutenant Jones, I may be supportive of something more. If they're not willing to propose it, that's fine too.
Okay. Mr. Belkonis?
I'll start with the motorcycles,
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, I think we need a presentation before we extend a lease or make some other decisions.
Sure. Let me find out right away what's going on with that. Just an update on the efforts to collect delinquent water and trash bills. I put down here that 166 letters were mailed last week. That brings to a total of 240 letters that have been mailed out on total delinquencies. The amount of the most recent batch is 107,000. The total amount that's been estimated as past due on water and trash is substantial, it's $230,000. So the town is being as aggressive as it can be. You've got a copy of the letter, merely a sample that we did send out to those who have not paid their bills for this current fiscal year. So there would have been 3 bills that have been issued. And those who have made no effort to pay or have not contacted the offices have been given until the 26th of this month to either contact the treasurer's office and make arrangements for payment, or to pay the balances in full. Again, as I've explained to the board, the risk is these things don't get paid and it creates a financial bind for the town. So certainly on the water department side, the Department of Revenue will make us raise a deficit, and that will then require us to tap into the MTBE fund again to cure that deficit, and that's not something that I'm comfortable recommending year after year, because it will deplete those funds eventually, and they will not be used for the intended use, which is to support capital initiatives in the water department.
Greg, have we taken a look at the past 3 quarters of tax bill payments, and are they on time? Is there a percentage that's late? Are there a number that are delinquent?
Yeah, I think we were about 1%. If you look at the payment through the third quarter, we were off about 1% on real estate tax collections, not a remarkable amount. So
As compared to?
a year ago for the same period, roughly about 1%.
1% change.
Correct.
Okay.
So, not in any way a worrisome number as I see it at this point. The real trouble is dealing with the water and trash bills. And I think a lot of that is cured by the fact that we're sending out we did send out a reminder to everyone, and now we're targeting letters to those who do owe additional amounts, and I'll update you as we go on.
Have a number of people that have been delinquent come back and said, well, it's because it was that dual bill that went out and we lost track of it, or is it just the economy that's
Both.
both?
Both. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get individuals, if they don't have the ability to contact the Department of Public Works or the Treasurer's Office and discuss with us how we might be able to make periodic
Mhm.
payments. Certainly, we understand and the town is understanding of the situation, but we really need to hear from people is the bottom line.
Anything else?
A couple of calendar items. The ABCC Center Cafe appeal hearing. Next round is on the 28th at 2 PM, and I would hope that a member of the board could attend that hearing.
I already mentioned to you I would be there.
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else going?
Probably, I'm hoping to be there.
that day.
Is this gonna be a similar hearing as to what was previously held? Anybody familiar with the process as far as
No.
another rehash?
Well, we've responded to the questions that
Right.
they raised.
Right.
So I guess this is a hearing now to weigh all of the the information that they thought was missing, and, you know, then I don't know what happens. They turn it back to the board again, or, I don't think historically, they don't override any board, do they?
No, they would send it back to you with a request that the board reconsider its decision.
Or
But they
agree
could
with us.
override
Or
right?
agree with you.
Or agree with us, yeah. I mean, I would assume that they're gonna do the same process, the same arguments. I mean, they're appealing it, so they're gonna make their appeal, and we're going to
No,
respond.
this is the ABCC that requested us to clarify. I mean, do they want to parade witnesses and all again? I mean, that's what we need to find out.
Counsel says that he doesn't think so. He thinks that the purpose of the hearing is to consider the subsidiary findings that were issued by the board and not to go through a whole parade of witnesses once again, but I'll confirm that,
Right.
and I'll be back in touch with the board members on it.
What else do you have?
The other calendar issue is the auditor, Richard Kingston, is scheduled to present the fiscal 2009 audit report. We had this scheduled for your next meeting, and I think it's important that Mr. Hingston still come in and make that presentation to you. I don't anticipate it'll be any more than 30 minutes, but it's important for you to have an understanding of the town's finances and hear from an independent auditor who looks at the town's books and will also has comments on the town's management letter. So if that's okay, we can schedule that for the 3rd prior to the budget hearing.
Budget hearings at 7:30.
We wanna come in at 6:30?
Do we want to start at 6:30? Because, it'll run over 30 minutes by the time we
I
get
mean,
through asking
last-minute election
questions.
push the night before the election, they got 2 members of the board here that are running re-election, you know?
By then, it's cast in concrete.
That's right.
Are we gonna
We
get a
wait till
copy
the
of the
17th.
report?
Absolutely. You'll get a copy of the final bound report and the management letter.
You wouldn't recommend waiting until the 17th?
It really doesn't make, it doesn't make any difference to me. It was just an issue that we tried to schedule the auditor in. I think we tried to get him in the whole month of April, and he wasn't available.
Well, I mean, you know, I guess, why take the budget hearing night and do anything but
Okay.
minimal things? And on the 17th, yeah, we're gonna vote on the budget, but it's not like we're gonna have a public hearing on it.
I think it makes more sense to have it on the 17th.
Unless there's some significant finding that you're not telling us.
Well, yeah, I suppose if there was some concerns that we might,
No,
Okay.
no, but I always want you to hear from the auditor, because I think it's important you question him. No, the
that
report
it? All right,
looks
so we're
good.
gonna do it on the 17th. We'll meet at 7 then, not
It's that
7:30.
smile I'm looking at.
Did you get that? We're gonna meet at 7, not 7:30 on that night.
7, what day? Which one?
On the 3rd, rather than 6:30.
For what purpose? If you,
We have a meeting.
I know,
Normal meeting.
Normal meeting.
Normal meeting,
on the,
not-
on the
budget.
3rd,
The 3rd, we're having,
We'll have
the-
other agenda.
public hearing.
right,
Right.
at 7:30.
You're gonna have other,
Meet at 7 for
Okay.
regular business, but we're not gonna have the auditor. Do the auditor on 17th. Okay, is that it, Greg?
I would ask for an opportunity to address collective bargaining matters in executive session. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, old and new business, Mr. O'Leary?
just again to remind people that if they have experienced some damage as a result of the storms, to get their claims into FEMA.
And the information on how to do that is on the
Is on
website?
the website and in the transcript, and again, from what I hear, they've been extremely responsive, as they have been in the past, and it's certainly worth taking the time to put in the application and have someone come out and survey the damage. So, please do so. It's only to your benefit. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
That's all you have, okay?
Nothing tonight.
Yes, I just would like to remind people again that, and I've said this before, I believe, that the good weather is here. And I know I've noticed in my own neighborhood, a lot of children are out now playing in the yards, chasing the ball or chasing the dog or the cat out into the street. Just use a little more caution when you're driving. I've noticed a tremendous increase of the children around the area in my neighborhood, and I'm sure it's that way everywhere.
It
So
is
just a
also-
little extra
It's
caution.
also school vacation week this week.
Yeah,
so-
well, no, I'm talking before this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right, especially this week, too. Yeah, that's it. Tonight, Mr. Chair.
I have nothing this evening.
I just want to remind everybody that the school department is holding a budget hearing on next Monday night, which is the 26th, at, is it 7 PM in the middle school? And it's your opportunity to hear what the school department is doing. And then the board is going to have our public hearing on May 3rd. And also remind people to put on their calendar that May 4th is town election day. It's too late to register, right? That's, that's over.
It's over.
Other than that, I don't have anything else to say. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session for the purpose of discussing
Collective
collective bargaining strategy.
Mr. Chairman, I move to enter into executive session for the purpose of collective bargaining session, and further, the Board of Selectmen will return to open session for the sole purpose of adjournment.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Mr. O'Leary?
Aye.
Mr. Yule?
Aye.
Mr. Vino?
Aye.
Mr. Delaney?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Can I,
We're
I'll
gonna take a
ask.
5-minute
Short
break.
break? Yeah, right. You're right. Sure you was.
we're gonna have to shoot you?